Now, in 2011, Chris and his family had the shock of a lifetime. Chris's father was diagnosed with ALS. 2 years later, on Chris's 33rd birthday, he not only lost his father, but he lost his best friend. Now, although ALS has taken Ken from us here on Earth, it will never take his legacy and the impact that he's had on the lives of so many. So here with us tonight to share Ken's story is his son, Chris Lempa. Please welcome Chris to the show. Yay! It's virtual, so you can't hear everybody clapping for you. So
Hey, Stephen. Thank you. That was very nice.
Oh, you're very nice. I'm really excited to get to talk to you. So tell me, before we get going, tell me a little bit about your dad.
Yeah, I think one thing that my dad was really good at was bringing people together and really instilling in all of us to have a sense of community and look out for our loved ones, our neighbors. That's one thing that I think my parents both did with us from a young age. It's really about a sense of community and loving the people around you and making your neighborhood, making your community better than it was before you arrived.
Such a great attitude. And so, like you said, there's this sense of community. How did your life change within your family, within your community after the ALS diagnosis?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's as you can imagine, it's a really interesting time to think about. In some ways, it was the longest 2 years of my life, and on the other hand, it was the shortest time. It just went by so quickly. I think what it did was it really brought my immediate family together, and it made us a lot closer. My brother and I have a fantastic relationship now. My sister and I do. My mom and I do, and we're all just really close because of that. And I like to look for the positives in things. It also made me realize how short life really is. I mean, my dad was 63 years old. He had just retired. He did everything you were supposed to do in life. My parents both worked hard. They saved. They had retirement to look forward to, and then gone.
Yeah.
What do you do? So I really thought about the way I lived my life from that also, and what that means. I'm 40, but if I get ALS, that could be 42. And then what? What does that mean? So it really makes you think about each year that you live, each minute that you live, and really making it worth your time and worth it to the community, and just really doing what you love and really being a good person. Don't be a jerk. That's the Chris Lempa rule. But it really makes me think about that a lot more too. Be a good person. Don't be a jerk.
I love that. I feel like you need to wear a shirt. Just have that, the quote of the night. Just don't be a jerk.
Well, I think my family's watching, so for my next birthday, that's what I want.
Everyone watching this. That's a great shirts, hats, socks, everything. Don't be a jerk. Quote by Chris Lempa. Very, very important quote of the night. But you're right. It's these moments. We have no idea what's coming next. And in fact, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show, but this month is particularly special for the ALS community because May is ALS Awareness Month, and we are all about giving more of those moments, doing everything we can to make more of those moments count, to have more special moments. Like you just said, I mean, the moments are precious. You have no idea how long you have with ALS. And, your dad, you guys, you all came together and you lived all those moments to its fullest. So you kind of already answered this for me, but I wanted to know, how has the ALS Association impacted you and your family's life?
Oh my God. I could not imagine going through it without the whole team at the ALS Association and the, not only the staff, but also the other family members, the other people who are going through ALS. You don't know what you're getting into. I mean, there's no way to know. It hits everybody so differently, but also it turns your life upside down. I was living in Kansas when it happened, and my mom and dad were still in Chicago. And, what do you do? What do you do when your life is turned upside down? We were very fortunate to, have insurance and be able to do, some care for ourselves, but you don't know how to find a power chair. You don't know how to navigate insurance. I mean, I have a hard time navigating my dental insurance. I'm a fairly smart guy, So just having somebody who can answer those questions for you, somebody who's listening to you when you're crying, and somebody saying, you know what, this sucks, but you will get through this. We are here for you. That's really important. I remember there was a really funny moment. My dad and I were sitting at the kitchen table, and we found a cushion that he needed for his power chair. And we were in a bidding war on eBay, and it turned out we were bidding with Jemana from the ALS Association.
Oh, no.
One of us won it, but we bid the price up. But it was just funny that because somebody was there looking out for us. And it's like those little stories, you don't get that from the hospital or your insurance company. You get that from people who care about you as individuals and people who are humans. It's a face-to-face connection you can have.
I love that you said that story because it's so true. This is a family. I've said it in past episodes. It's a family that you never ever want to have to be a part of. But if you are a part of, it is a tight-knit family. Like, words don't even describe it. So the fact that, those are the things that are happening. The ALS Association, they don't turn off. I swear. No. This team of people, they go 24/7 so they can get the equipment you need. They can do all of these things to be there for you. And I love how you say, I think you're right. Most people would have no idea where to begin. And I feel like I don't want you wasting time having to try to think about where's this equipment going to come from? What doctors do I need to see? How do I get my dad to the doctor? I want you spending time with your family. I want you spending time with your dad instead of wasting it on that kind of back end stuff. And I think that's what the chapter is so good about. They dive in and they're like, let us take all that on for you. So
100%.
Enjoy these moments. Now, how'd you guys find your way to the chapter?
I believe it was the doctors at the University of Chicago that connected us. And I think the first connection was made. I wasn't there, but I believe it was the doctors at the University of Chicago. And that was the other thing. The ALS Association has the connections with the hospitals, so they're talking to you when that tragic moment hits. So it's one less thing you have to think about. Also, it's they're 5 steps ahead and already thinking about those things for you. So we didn't have to think about that. We're thinking about, oh my gosh, we have stairs going into the house. There's a second floor. There's a third floor. We shower in a base. Like, where are you going? Like, how do you navigate this? They were at the doctor's office and talking to us and, making appointments to come to our house and talk to us right away. So.
It's so you bring up all these things that I think someone that hasn't been impacted by ALS firsthand, you don't think about these things. All of those things are challenges. I wouldn't even fathom those kinds of things. But yeah, those are struggles that you guys have to deal with every single day and navigate and try to figure it out. Oh, yep, your brain starts to go into overdrive. Yes, Sabrina Johnson, she's another one. She lost her dad as well to ALS. So, I mean, this family, it's just so tight-knit. We're just here to continue to support each other. Speaking of awesome dads, can you share maybe one of your favorite moments or memories with your dad?
I think one memory that will always stick out to me because it kind of ties together a number of important moments in my life is I used to run a youth program in Lawrence, Kansas. Side story there, I used to want to be a special ed teacher. That's what my mom did for, I'm not going to say how many years, she'll get mad at me. But I ended up working with kids. Your mom's like 30 years old. Yep. So my dad had just retired and he had all of this chocolate, shaped like golf balls and golf bat, just different retirement kind of ridiculous things. He brought down this giant box of like chocolate and candy and all this really unhealthy junk food for the kids at the youth program that I worked at. And then he played video games with them, which, I did not give them unhealthy food and I rarely let them play video games. So it was like a true kind of grandfather sort of thing coming down and just spoiling the kids. And it was just really nice. It's one of those moments where he bonded with some of the parents who were there and the kids, and it was my workplace, and it just kind of bringing that family vibe that we had back at my home on Home Avenue in Berwyn to my workplace, the community I was trying to build on there.
He sounds like such a cool dude.
Yeah, there are definitely some good moments.
I'm sure there are many good moments too. And I love that you get to at least, no matter what happens in life, we get to take all of those with us. So
Yeah.
I'm happy you had some great moments. Okay, so great moments with your dad. I know you and I have kind of talked about this a little bit, and I was blown away when we were on the phone chatting about all this. But how's your dad inspired you? I mean, he's inspired you in some pretty cool ways. So I want everyone else to hear about that.
Yeah, when I think about those kinds of things, it's really about the family that we had and the way our family has grown together in the moments as a family. I think the most inspiring moments for me are really more about the family unit as a whole, and I try to kind of remember those. And really just being there for one another and supporting one another, and one another's goals, and just being there and having each other's backs, even if we're not necessarily seeing eye to eye at the moment, or siblings are sometimes have their rough patches, but just knowing, like, my brother, for instance, is my best friend, but we've also had our times when we've had knockout blows. Now, fortunately, most of those when we were like 10, but yeah, and that's another thing, just remembering what's important, and it's your family, it's the people who are there for you, and also, again, just looking out for other people. Those memories, and that's really something that both my parents instilled in us, and I think is something I'm going to take with me till the grave. So.
And strength. I mean, we had talked about that. You had brought up sort of getting to see this sort of the ugly side of ALS, watching your parent go through this, but watching him fight it with such strength and such courage, and then your mom having to step up and sort of 100% be the caretaker. You got to witness that.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I really took out of this the most is the role that immediate caretakers play, and how we underestimate that role, and we never really look out for the people who are taking care of others. I'm fortunate. I was living in Kansas, but I had a job that was supportive of me, so I was kind of commuting back and forth. Like every week, which I know some people do that all the time and love it, but that's not my favorite thing to do. My brother was here a lot, and he was in medical school. So, I mean, he was, medical school. I don't know how people do that alone, how you do that with a parent who's going through something like that, but plus coming in and being supportive to the rest of your family as well. I don't know how he did that, and my sister was going through college. Like, it was just one of those things. But then really just, our goal was to make sure, my parents were doing the best they could, that my mom was doing the best that she could, and she got her breaks when she needed them. If you even have a break, that's probably not even the right word. But it also really made me appreciate more. Susan, I mentioned this to you. My aunt has had MS for a very long time, and I never looked at my uncle as a caretaker. And it was a conversation that we had during that moment. I think we were, I don't know, eating some pizza or something, and we had the conversation about caretakers and looking at it in a whole different way. We don't like to say you're a caretaker to a family member, but that's really what it is. And then I took a step back, and I was thinking about people who are like, CNAs and CMAs, and these people who, take care of people for a living, but we pay them next to nothing. We look down on those jobs like they're next to nothing. And it's really awful the way we just don't respect those, that role in society, that role in the profession. It really makes you think about a lot of things, but we do have to pay more attention to caretakers and their mental health, and to how we care for people who are going through things.
It's true, because that's one of those things. No, it's true. That's one of those thankless jobs, and it is so hard. It is so hard. And there are other ones, they don't really. Yes, absolutely. Caregivers really are. That came through. So to all anyone watching that is a caregiver, or tell anyone in your family that's a caregiver, thank them, because it is a thankless job. And I don't know how your mom did it, because your mom, it's not even a job for your mom. It's not like she got to get off and go home. It was 24/7.
Oh, and she was a special ed teacher. I mean, that's not, that's a tough job. Like, and then going, I don't know how she did it. One thing I wanted to throw out there, and this is a little bit off topic, but it's also part of this whole thing, is it was really interesting. I was working, my job at the housing authority, and a lot of the tenants, a lot of the parents were CNAs and CMAs. And it really opened my eyes in a different way as well, that I was coming back to do very similar work that they were doing, but I was still, because of my lot, fortunate where I was, getting paid to not be at work and doing all these things. And they were going in doing this work day in and day out and still not being respected in the same way that I was. For me, it was like, oh, that's admirable that you're doing this. And for the, for the CNAs, and that was one thing too. We made sure we were very, thoughtful, and we tried to really take care of the people who were coming in and helping out my dad, the different CNAs and caretakers and people from the ALS Association. So I'm going on and on about caretakers, but it's really, really important. We have to treat people better.
No, I love that you even brought that up, though, because I think even sometimes here, we're diving in so much into the story and to the loved one that's fighting ALS or we've lost ALS. Yeah, we do forget sometimes to just mention and recognize the heroes that are behind the scenes that are keeping them happy and smiling and comfortable. So I'm really glad. Oh, we have a question, silly question, but did your dad have a bucket list he wanted to do while he still could?
I don't know if he had a bucket list per se. He was always asking me when I was going to get married and have kids. The answer to the second one is never, and the answer to the first one is we'll see.
He's waiting now. Now he's up there waiting, probably nudging you, like giving you all, creeping into your dreams. Like, is it time? Is it time?
Well, I'll just say, Amy, good job.
Oh, no,
I think she's watching.
My sister. I missed what you said.
Oh, my sister Amy. She's going to be the one who makes everyone happy, I think.
Oh, you're making them happy too, just in a different way.
Different way, right?
A different way. Exactly. We're going to get to this because I want to end on this, but you're going to have a whole lot of kids in your life, just in a different path.
Yeah. Now or later.
Exactly. You absolutely will. I love that question. Yeah. Anyone else that's watching, if you guys have questions, chime in. We want to know. We want to have them answer what you guys want to know. So that was a great question. Thanks, Kevin Nice 69. I do love that. Do you have a bucket list? Speaking of that.
Do I have a bucket list?
Yeah.
It changes. I want to run 100 miles. I would like to bike pack in Denali with my brother. So those are two of the big ones. I'd also, I think my real bucket list is just to be happy and to live life for myself and to make sure I'm looking out for myself and doing what makes me happy. I think we forget to do that sometimes.
Anything. I love this. Oh, your mom is actually watching. She popped this season. Do you remember, Ken? Smile. Okay. I didn't want to bust this out, but yes, absolutely. I think it was maybe 2013. I think it was.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I think it was. So I got to meet him, and I got to this guy's smile and his eyes. My goodness. Your mom's watching, so I can't even say don't tell your mom. But I think I fell in love with him just a little bit. He was just so infectious, and he was so contagious. And you guys. So was that the first year? Was that the first year you guys did our walk? Okay.
Yeah.
So the first
that
year,
was.
And this is pretty insane. I got to meet the whole team. There was a bazillion of you there. It was so cool. Somewhere floating around. I actually tracked it down, but we do have a picture of the whole team together. And I hopped on your dad's lap and I gave him a big old smooch because I told you I did. I fell in love with him just a little bit. It's a huge team, and you got.
that's my best friend in New York.
That popped in. That what is it?
Yeah.
Weekenthropic?
Yeah.
Well, if
Hi,
you're
Dave.
calling me a hot pepper, thank you. I'll take that compliment.
Sorry, he's calling me a hot pepper. We have matching hot pepper tattoos.
Oh, darn it. Okay, so I guess it's not a great compliment to me. So you hot pepper over there. Wait, so this year that you guys did the walk, the first year, because you've been back many times since, you were telling me you raised over $20,000.
We did. And what was really great was that year, it was us and, gosh, I cannot remember the other team, but we were neck and neck as far as the fundraising goes. And we both, I believe, broke the previous records for non-corporate teams. But then my understanding was the next few years after that, that record just kept getting broken as well. So it was, I would have liked to hold the record longer, but I'm happy that the number kept going higher and higher.
Yeah.
Fundraising that much money is hard, but it was nice to see all of our friends and family come together. People coming out of the woodwork that I knew a long time ago, giving a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there, and some people giving more. Thanks, Mom. Giving more money here and here. But just really, I think the best part about that number for the ALS Association, of course, it's the money, but also, with the Ice Bucket Challenge came up around that time too, more and more people just really learning about ALS and what it is and how awful it can be, but the need to do, more support and research for it. We had a good time. We had a really good time. We had matching shirts, which I've since tattooed the logo on my arms. It was a lot of fun meeting all the great folks. Dad loved when meeting you. Talked about that a lot. Yes.
I talk about him. I'm telling you, I just love him. I don't think I have ever sat on another person's lap and smooched him right on the face like that. So your dad was super, super special. I love that. And I don't even know how we captured that moment, but I love that someone was super sneaky and captured that moment so that, you can look back forever. But my gosh, and your mom. This is what's so cool about you guys too. I love this about our family. Your dad was diagnosed, he passed away, but that wasn't it. You guys didn't stop. You're so involved. Your family is so involved still. Your mom's an ambassador. So I see her at all the meetings. She's pretty much at every volunteer event that I've ever been at. Your mom just rocks it. And you and your siblings, you guys are still such an active part of advocacy. I think that's so great. Was that kind of a no-brainer, easy decision for you guys?
I'm not really good I'm kind of an all-in sort of person. I'm not good with moderation. And I think this goes to my brother and I started out. My big contribution now is I run the marathon for TeamALS. And my brother and I started running when my dad got sick as an outlet, as a healthy outlet for stress and for just everything that was going on. And I had never run. I did not want to run. I did not want to run a 5K, nor did I want to run anything more than that. And someone from the ALS Association came up to me and said, "Oh, you're a runner. You should join TeamALS and run the marathon." And I said, "Absolutely not. That is stupid. Marathons are ridiculous. I'm never going to run 26 miles."
26.2 or something, even more.
26.2 miles, right. Because that last 0.2 seems like 30 miles. But I've run 4 marathons, and I've been on the team, I think 7 years at this point now. And this year will be my 5th. So it's something I could do to keep my body, I think, healthy. Some people might say it's just deteriorating my body more. I'm not sure. But also continue to raise awareness and money for an organization that just means so much for us.
It's true. And I was going to bring it up when you beat me to the punch that, you're sitting there laughing like, no way, I'm never going to run a marathon. Here we are all these years later, 4 medals under your belt. You not only run it, but you continue to finish the Chicago Marathon. So I think you're a crazy person, but in the best possible way.
That part's to be debated.
Now that we're on the topic of the run and all of that, and you still being a part of this year after year, despite the fact you don't like to run, because I'm with you on that one. What did Marathon Week look like? What was it like being a part of the ALS Association's running team?
I kind of felt guilty because they really took care of us. We, from the start where we had personalized training plans with, I always did the Coach Brendan plan. He was always available for us via email, phone call. And then, Sarah's a fantastic team captain. I ran one of the marathons with her, and then I think she just blew me away. It's really great. The highlight for me, aside from the marathon, is the night before. We always have a pasta dinner. We meet the people on our team. We go around, share our stories, and just kind of chat and get to know more people who are either going through similar things that you did, went through something, or just really phenomenal people who joined the team just because they want to see ALS go away. And then, of course, the massages afterwards don't hurt. And the lunch and everything that's provided for us after the marathon. But really, just it's an extension of the family again. It's great.
It's true. They treat you guys kind of like VIPs, which I love. I mean, when you're part of the ALS run team, you're a VIP all the way. So you mentioned there's a great dinner before. There's a lot of camaraderie. There's a VIP suite that overlooks where your friends, your family can be there to watch you. You guys get to come, you get massages, you get food, you get juice. You're so taken care of. Because 26 miles sucks. We want you to be in your best possible shape to make that happen.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go on.
No. I'm just thanking you for running and being an all-star.
Yeah. Well, and it's also one of those things I would never think about doing the Chicago Marathon for a few reasons. One of which is the bag checks are ridiculous. Like if I wasn't part of this team, aside from the fact that I'm raising awareness and money for something that's really important to me and is a big part of my life and will always be, it's a logistical nightmare. It's not worth it. I mean, I kind of hate navigating Chicago on a Friday night. I can't imagine, marathon day is awful. But we get a hotel that's a third, less than a mile away from the starting line. The ALS suite is there. Yeah, they take care of us like no tomorrow. So if anybody's listening who wants to run a marathon, run with us, raise some money, have a good time.
Yes, I love that. I was just going to ask you. So what would you say to prospective runners? If people were maybe on the fence if they should run for TeamALS or not, how are you going to sell them on coming and joining the family?
The pasta is really good. There's free beer the night before. If you don't drink, there's also free soda. And it's really a good way to put you over the top. Like if you're on the fence and you're not sure, sign up and support a good cause. And if I think you should do it for TeamALS, but there's lots of fundraising opportunities. Of course, TeamALS is the best, so you should do that one. But it's really that thing that puts you over the fence to really get you to do something that's kind of crazy and kind of bonkers. You should do it. It's
true. I agree. You sold that. So if anyone's interested, you guys have to do it. Sam put the link up for more information on it. And we do still have, last time I heard, 79. There it is. There's the link. We still have 79 bibs up for grabs. So let's fill those bad boys up. Join TeamALS.
And, if you can sign up and not run, you can just fundraise for us. We prefer that you run, but you can also just fundraise. We're okay with that too.
That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. Or if running intimidates you, I've always said this because I can't run to save my life, but you can walk it. I mean, there's no, you have to finish within 6 hours, but you can walk it. You can take it slow. You can get some of your friends and you guys all just sort of walk it, slowly pace it together.
One of my oldest and dearest friends just signed up, and she's a walker. She just walked 20 miles this past weekend, but I convinced her to join the team, and she'll be running with us this year for her first marathon. So you can definitely do it if you're more of a walker as well.
Oh, that's so exciting.
You have 6.5 hours to do it to get the official medal. And if you think it's going to be a little bit longer, I'll snag you an extra one and give it to you at the finish line.
Look at that. I love that. Everyone look out for Chris. He's got your back. That might be me walking, and I probably still wouldn't make it in 6 hours.
I think you should sign up, Season. I'm gonna talk to Sarah and make sure that you get a bib.
Wait, remember we talked on the phone, and I get out of breath going upstairs. It's a little embarrassing. I'm pretty sure 26.2 miles would kill me.
It's a pretty flat marathon. You don't have to worry about the stairs or hills. It's just the very end. There's a little bit, but it's flat. So I think you can do it.
Okay. Or I'll just tie a rope. I'll just put myself in a little carriage or a buggy with wheels, and you can just pull me. You can like run, do your thing, and I'll just like chill along behind you.
You know what? I like a challenge. If you sign up, let's do it.
I like this. I think we should run with this. I love this. You guys make sure to seriously check it out. We still have some bibs available. And from what I understand, the lottery for the marathon is closed. So there's no other way to get into running the marathon but with the charity team. And what better team than to be with us in this family. So make sure you check out the link in the comments and join TeamALS. You can run next to Chris. And if he's not already pulling me, then he can pull you too. If you start to get tired, he can pull all of us actually, because you're pretty much a superhero. I'm convinced of that too. So you can pull us all. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Start working out now.
Yeah.
So speaking of, another reason why I think you are a superhero, and You talked about it earlier about your dad inspiring you to just remember that life is short and to enjoy every moment. And so that has led you to making some new choices in your life and heading you down a different path. So what's next for you?
Yeah, well, at 40 years young, I decided that it was time to get a second master's degree and become a school social worker, and then also a therapist. So, I'm social work school, the University of Illinois Chicago in August. So I'm
I
really, really excited about that.
I
Yep,
love
I'm kind
that.
of, yeah, yep. So we'll see. It's going to be great working full time and going to school full time. And I've kind of gotten to the point where my time off, but yeah, it's something I wanted to do, and it's yeah, you have to take care of yourself and do things for yourself. So
You do. And you know what? You are Ken Lempa's son. And the strength that that man has shown, that just means you can do it. There is pretty much no challenge you can't get through because you have all of it in him. And
I
I
have,
love that.
I have a very supportive family, and there are things right now. We talk about the president. I couldn't do without my mom, my brother, and my sister, and all the support from them as well. So it's really, we are a tight knit family, and it's really important. So I think, the memory of my father's there, and the four of us are still doing it, still moving forward. So
It's true. And he, ironically, this all comes full circle because he got his wish because he wanted you to have kids, and you're going to have so many kids
that's right.
that you were hoping. So it all happened the way it was supposed to happen, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I love this. So thank you so much for coming in. I love I love your family so much. I don't know how you and I haven't actually spent a lot of time together. I get to hang with your mom all the time, and I get to, I got to smooch all over your dad. So I'm glad we finally get to see each other.
Yeah, this has been great. I'd love to come back too if you ever need another guest. It's always good to talk and raise awareness about the ALS Association.
I love that, and you're doing it too. So keep on doing it. Thank you so much for everything that you do with your family, for raising awareness, for running, for raising money. I mean, I'm really happy to know you, and I'm really happy that you are a part of our ALS family.
Same. I really appreciate you doing this and really raising more awareness to this awful disease and for the great organization. So it's been a pleasure.
But we're not stopping. We're not stopping until we finally get rid of this whole nasty disease. So we will just keep working. So I'm glad we have you in our corner fighting with us. And good luck. Good luck in school. Good luck on your second master's. And I'm really excited for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a great night. We'll talk to you later.
You too. Bye.